We've got Tesla earnings tomorrow.
Yes.
So I'm thinking maybe a Tesla trade here. I know those options are liquid. I know they're popular. Maybe we should take a look at that.
So let's take a quick look at the chart first and see what's happening. So we've got a weekly chart and we can see that it's been range bound. Look at how many earnings this thing has been sitting in this range for. I'm only going to count this one. This was a drop off. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 earnings events in this range. So to me, it says that either Tesla has to come with something otherworldly on the horizon, or other terribly on the horizon, or we are going to have ourselves a sideways event. A couple of ways you can trade the sideways event. I don't see any big, take a look at what's happening with the ATR. Mm-hmm. It's been dropping off a bit. It's really, really low. To me, the options are going to be juiced, meaning they're going to make money on how much they're charging for premium.
Sounds like if they're going to be making money off inflated premiums, we're going to be selling premiums.
Exactly.
Boom.
Exactly. So a couple of things we can do. Now, let's say that there's a gigantic outsized move. Market makers are pricing in $12. And if we take a look at, notice the 25th of October, the implied vol is 90, and it literally drops by 30% by the end of the November cycle. And so if we're looking up here, there are premiums that we can sell, but if we get into a triage space, things are going to have to roll. So the first thing I would say is that if they're pricing in $12 here on the move, and we look across here, this is $7.90, so that's almost $8, and this is $6.85, so that's almost $7. So they're pricing in $15, but the market makers are only saying $12. So if we take a look at 12 and we go, okay, what's $12 below? That's 200. Volume point of control is below it at 180. So there's more of a shift in that general direction towards the 180. Or if we add $12, it's 230. But 240 is the next high volume node, 245, and the value area high is up at 270. So if, for happenstance, you wanted to say to yourself, I'm taking the trade that this is going to be outsized and it's going to really move, we're going to go long a strangle, but only because we believe that the market makers have mispriced the position. Even though I say, hey, listen, it's juiced. This is a $45 position, 252 on the upside, 180 on the downside. It could literally be worth 12 cents if the chart does nothing, okay? Simply because there's so much vol. If you wanted to move that into the forward week, time premium takes over and it becomes $1.38. If you're in a gambling mood and you're feeling like for 8 earnings events, these guys literally have stayed in the pocket, what if they don't this time? What if they juice it and it moves dramatically in one direction or another? I picked the 252 because 250 is a big fat round number and it's near the high volume node.
Gotcha.
And I picked the 180 because that's the volume point of control. And so if you're inclined to wiggle those around, maybe instead of 252, you want to say 250, you're going to pay a couple more pennies, but not a lot more, $6 more. And you get really potentially quite a bit more if it comes into 250 and accelerates. Maybe it expires during the week at 252, and all of a sudden that 50-cent option is now worth $250. So potential for upside, but this is essentially what I'm looking at if you're in a gambling mood. Now, if you're not, and you're saying to yourself, this thing is going to sit exactly where it's been sitting for the next month and a half or so. And so I'm going to sell an iron condor. We've got an iron condor right here, 270 to 275, 170 to 165. Now, I have that a little bit on the lower edge simply because it's all the way out in December. But 180 is really what the price action says it's likely to hold. So if we say 180 to 175, we get ourselves a little bit more premium, but it allows us an opportunity to capitalize on things if nothing happens, right? And so this one's out in December. My thought is when you sell an iron condor, try to cover it at 50% profit. If you try to hang on for more, things can get a little weird. But if this Tesla chart stays spongy like it's been staying for the last couple of years, it really is going to sit in the squishy zone and not move.